I'm just going to run through here the actions that are required to get an accurate grading image on the Apple Pro Display XDR with DaVinci Resolve and what to expect from it. The big thing is that these reference modes aren't ICC color profiles, which is what they look like at first glance because they're accessed from the same menu. These are not the OS applying this look. It's actually just controlling the monitor and telling it to reboot in a particular reference mode. Because these displays are all very precisely calibrated at the factory, once you select one of these reference modes, the screen displays images in that format extremely accurately and with a great deal of consistency between Pro Display monitors. So if you're using the display to do an HDR grade, you select the HDR reference mode, and that switches all of the parameters of the Pro Display to match the specifications of a 1000 nits HDR reference monitor. Then if you need to switch to Rec 709 to do an SDR version, it's important to quit out of Resolve, change the reference mode, and then restart Resolve. This appears to be because Resolve is identifying what type of reference monitor it's looking at as it starts up. In each of the reference modes, all of the other display options in the system preferences are gone, and the mode is locked to that particular specification. So in the HDR mode, the brightness can't be changed, and it's locked to 1000 nits max. In Rec 709, it's locked to 100 nits, and in DCI-P3, it's locked to the cinema standard of 48 nits. Because of this, it's also crucial that you have an appropriate viewing environment for the reference mode you're using, and also give your eyes time to adjust. The big upside is that because of this, once you've selected the reference mode, you know that all of the display's settings are correct for that mode, and the rest of the adjustments happen in Resolve. Now, the first thing we need to make sure is that in the Resolve preferences, System, General, Use Mac Display Color Profiles for Viewers is checked. In the past, I haven't done this, but I've found that it's essential in order to get the correct brightness from the Pro Display reference modes. Now, you don't have to work in ACES, but it certainly makes things a lot easier when you're working with different color spaces. So what I'm going to do here is just set the project to ACES 1.1. And because I selected HDR in the reference modes, I'm going to choose an output device transform of P3, D65, ST2048, 1000 nits to match the monitor settings. To then switch to doing a Rec 709 grade, I'll quit out of Resolve, then go to the OS System Preferences, select the HDTV reference mode, which is Rec 709, and then restart Resolve. Back in Resolve, I'll switch the ODT to Rec 709, and we have an SDR session ready to go. The same process applies to P3 DCI for digital cinema. With the macOS 10.15.4 update, it's also possible to create custom reference modes. And this is a preference window we've never seen before on the Mac, and it really highlights how much these modes are completely different to the ICC color profiles that they look like at first glance. It isn't possible to change the existing profiles, which is great, because you always know you can go back to them for a textbook calibration. But this option is exciting because it allows you to do things like take the Rec 709 mode and adjust the nits level. I think this is extremely helpful because despite 100 nits being the official standard, it's likely that no one outside of a calibrated grading room will ever see your work at 100 nits. Even cheap SDR TVs are mostly at least 200 nits and have been for many years. So I'm finding that a custom version of Rec 709 set to 400 nits gives me a great idea of what this will look like on actual SDR TVs, while still knowing that the gamut, gamma, and other aspects of the image will remain perfectly calibrated to the Rec 709 standards. So I hope this is helpful for anyone who's using the Pro Display or thinking about using it.